Hello Maggie Meshers, Jerseydood here again. What you see on your screen here represents a real dichotomy in styles. Here below we have a lot of the things that you gals are likely interested in for blouses or doilies or placemats. It doesn't really do much for me. Of course, I would gladly accept bags full of cash if someone wanted to give me that to do some embroidery like this for them, but my interest is up here in the patches. As most of you have an overriding interest in this sort of thing, I wonder if you've ever thought about what it might take to do my sort of thing. So I thought I might create some videos and discuss that. Let's start with an existing design. This is the design created by a professional artist for sale to a client. This guy, this extremely cool dude, is the mascot for a hockey team called the Orlando Solar Bears. Get it? The cleverness and creativity of this sort of branding is really intriguing to me. I'm impressed by it. I aspire to it. I copy things like this, which this is certainly a trademark design, but I copy them because I really like the visual, I like the theme. I'm doing it for myself, so while some people would say I'm ripping it off, I'm doing it out of respect and admiration for what someone else has created and to create my own jersey, which I could certainly go out and buy. I could buy one with all of this stuff already on it. All that takes is a checking account with some money in it. I prefer to exercise my own creativity and pay homage to the designs that someone else has created and make my own jerseys. I have learned that embroidery of this style can be broken down into many different aspects. There's certainly the stitching part of it. There is also the drawing part. How do you go about drawing this sort of thing? It sounds ridiculous on the face of it until you dive in and start going. And then you realize, geez, this is very complicated. Looking forward, I have to sequence all this stuff. I have to decide how it's going to stitch. So I have to decide how I'm going to draw it. My logic told me that I started out with the biggest thing first and worked my way down to the details. And it took me about 1 or 2 drawing projects to realize that that was really dumb. Because if I draw a big yellow sun outline here and plunk it on the screen, I have just obscured everything else in the artwork. So I need to go back and rethink this, and I eventually discovered that no, what I need to do is draw the details first. Yes, they will be covered up by subsequent pieces, but all that requires is going over to the Resequence tab and changing the order in which they appear. So the first things that I would draw would be the details. These reflections in the lenses of the glasses, this reflection off the glasses frame. Then the next largest detail would probably be these blue shadows on the sides of the nose, face, and the neck. Then it's sort of open to interpretation, possibly the purple-blue outline and shadow that make up the bear itself. Then you've got this dark orange field that represents the sun and the bright yellow that represents the outline of everything. what looks like a relatively simple graphic suddenly becomes extremely complex. How am I going to draw this thing? I can go ahead and draw all the separate pieces, but then I have to start thinking about what order am I going to stitch these in? There's going to be overlaps. There's going to be a lot of other considerations. So how exactly am I going to do this? You realize that just the drawing phase is extremely complicated. Before you've ever gotten to stitching a thing, you've got a monumental task on your hands. How will you proceed?